Hey guys, Hypersonic93 here. So I went to Otakon in Washington, D.C., and I went to this one panel talking about the horrors of Godzilla, and it was pretty good. I took some footage of it, and what you're about to see is all the footage I took, so I hope you enjoy.
Horror series. I am not the biggest expert in the analog horror, nor is this official, so I will not be discussing it. Though if I ever do get more into analog horror, maybe I'll take some time to actually discuss the damage as well. Yeah, that's really creepy. Yes. Now, and finally, this is all my interpretation. This is all how I view these movies and how I read them. If any of you guys disagree with me, or if any of you guys want to add to what I have to say, or have something completely different to say, there will be points where I will stop, and there's a microphone up here, so feel free to walk up and just have a good, friendly discussion with me about what these movies mean to you. At a local power station. On the way to the factory, in Milwaukee and his two brothers saw unspeakable horrors, including corpses whose skin came peeling off just like that of an overripe peach, exposing the white fat underneath. A young woman whose intestines dragged behind her, and what the trio first thought was a white clock belt, and a 6 or 7-year-old boy whose parasitic roundworms had come shooting out of his mouth post-mortem. The boys soon arrived at the power station, which was situated near the bomb's hypocenter, and had been reduced to a little bit more than a pile of scorched metal. Spotting 3 men with shovels, they called out, "Our name is Yamawaki. Where is our father?" In response, one of the men pointed towards a demolished building across the street and simply said, "Your father is over there." Are you familiar with in terms of theming? So, I personally believe that Godzilla is an allegory for the nuclear holocaust. And this isn't just me giving you guys a basic film analysis. This was by the words of the director, Ishiro Honda. According to Ishiro Honda, if Godzilla had been a dinosaur or some other animal, he would have been killed by just one cannonball. But if he were equal to the power of an atomic bomb, we wouldn't know what to do. So I took the characteristics of an atom bomb and applied them to Godzilla. So when we see Godzilla rampaging, it's meant to represent the nuclear bombing of both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is also shown in the film in rather dreadful ways, as there are many scenes of people who are pleading with their lives and praying to the higher powers beyond them. But there is one other film I do, well, 2 other films I want to discuss, but one film in particular really struck me. Let's talk Shin. So, for those of you who don't know, Shin Godzilla was written and directed by Hideaki Anno, the man behind Neon Genesis Evangelion, and was co-directed by Shinji Iguchi, who is a Toku director who is responsible for many live-action Japanese films, such as the Heisei Gamera trilogy. So taking that into consideration, Hideaki Anno is a man who often puts much of his own life and his own views and struggles into this work, but almost never truly elaborates on it himself. So there will not be any direct quotes from anyone at all for this. So then the question then becomes, what do I think Shin Godzilla is about? Well, in order for that, I need to explain to you guys a other certain world event that happened in the early 2010s that you may or may not remember. So, on March 11th, 2011, a powerful earthquake off the northeastern coast of Honshu, Japan's main island, caused a widespread damage on land and initiated a series of large tsunami waves that devastated many coastal areas around the country. The facility, which then endangered any water, food, and the general area around the Fukushima power plant, and many people have also came down with radiation poisoning as a result of this. This was all known as the 3/11 disaster, as this took place on March 11th. But why am I bringing this up? Well, how about I show you some camera footage of 3/11 next to Shin Godzilla? So, if Godzilla is a film that captures the despair of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima then in my opinion, Shin Godzilla is a film that displays the grief and panic that plagued the public of Japan during the March 11th disasters. The main central theme from this movie is a much more direct criticism on Japanese government and how incompetent they were in solving the problems of the 3/11 disasters. There are several scenes where politicians are just standing around talking about a meeting that they're going to have after this meeting in the room with another meeting going on. COVID-19. According to him, the worldwide anxiety and government unreliability during the COVID-19 pandemic was one of his major inspirations for the story, and that he hopes that the events are reflected clearly in the finished film. And he wanted to steer clear of setting the film in modern Japan and having to draw inspiration from the 2011 Fukushima disaster, as he believed that would make it too similar to Shin Godzilla. Instead, Yamazaki decided to set the film in post-war Japan and allowing Godzilla Minus One to explore anti-nuclear and anti-war themes, as well as themes of trauma, hope, guilt, and redemption. And from a direct quote from him, post-war Japan has lost everything. The film depicts an existence that gives unprecedented despair. The title Godzilla Minus One was created with this in mind. In order to depict this, the staff and I have worked together to create a setting where Godzilla looks as if fear itself is walking towards us, and where despair is piled on top of despair. This is combined with modern and progressive Japanese viewpoints that show how awful the traditional Japanese militaristic beliefs were. Not an incredible amount, but definitely a bit of an element of psychological horror, which is how Koichi views Godzilla as a whole, even though, again, there's so much going on and how you can look at him. And with that being said, does anyone have anything to say about my...
And that's pretty much all the footage I took. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Hypersonic 93 signing off. Peace.